for the first time ever, this is take 2. In my authentic self, I was so excited to interview Sam that I just forgot to press start record. So the first time ever is we're there. So if you are interested in dry eye, you really want to watch this to the end. We practiced this first bit and we went into conversation about how the body doctor started. I'm so excited to introduce Sam. He is the managing director, the sales director. I'll let him introduce himself. Sam, go for it.
Take 2. Sam Weimer, take 2. Here we go. Sales and marketing director of the Body Doctor, and one of the founders, the original founders. So we was just talking, obviously, in take 1 about how we started, and our relationship goes right back, doesn't it, Gary? Do you want to tell the listeners about how that started?
My business was failing. I'm going to try and give a bit more now because this is take 2. So my business wasn't doing very well. Even though I had the Midas touch, any optician I worked in, it just did well. And this particular business was struggling. So I needed to be a bit different. So I started to use social media. I don't know if you know this about me, Sam, but we were the first optician in the world to have a Facebook page as recognized by Meta. So I really got into social media. I even put in my will, my Twitter account is Opticians. And it was, someone offered me 20K for it. I should have taken it at the time. And the body doctor reached out to me on Twitter and said, do you want one of these eye bags? And at the time, dry eye wasn't that the opticians used to recommend bicarbonate of soda or baby lotion, and so it was really an innovation. But what was happening? The optometrists were getting excited about it. They're saying this is actually working, and of course, because you guys trained me, I knew all about expressing, which is still a problem now that people don't express. So, Sam, on take 1. You said about your mum. I really want to talk about your mum and how she was the founder and she created this eye bag.
Yeah. So yeah, look, we were talking about how we started. So we registered in December 2012, and I think it was Adam who reached out to you on Twitter and said it. And our slogan, even still to this day, is do things differently. And I think reaching out on Twitter to sell some eye bags is pretty different. Obviously, it worked, and we still have this great relationship now. So, look, our history goes back to pre-December 2012, actually. So it was actually my mum was one of the inventors and led the design on the MGDRX eye bag at the time from a local company, the eye bag company up in Halifax, which is like 20 minutes from Huddersfield, where we're based. And she designed it and manufactured it, and then obviously things went a little pear-shaped back then, which resulted in ultimately that business not doing too good. And that prompted me and Adam ultimately to say, you know what, we know this with this product, we know how it works, and some improvements that we believed we could make to it. So we created what was then the Eye Doctor, and that's still this confusion with our branding now. You know, are we the Body Doctor, are we the Eye Doctor? But originally we came in as the Eye Doctor, and it was a heatable compress. You stick it in the microwave for MGD, blef, and dry eye. But we added features. We put it in a bag. We added a strap. We made it washable. The things that we thought was
velvet. Logical. You had the velvet.
Yeah, there you go.
Version 1, I don't remember having velvet.
I can't remember. It's so long ago.
It being that comfortable.
But yeah, we mixed it up, and yeah, we actually had a real rocky start. You know, people weren't that interested because I think it was so new. Like you said, people are so interested in baby shampoo, dry eye, baby shampoo,
drops. There you go, drops. Get on your way.
You know, this was a whole new territory.
Omega-3 wasn't it? I never used to take omega-3. This is a recent thing. Well, last 10 years.
Yeah, definitely last 10 years. Probably last 5 as it really kicked off.
Do you know those tablets called Mackie Shield?
Yeah.
So I remember going to, when they had just launched, someone saying to me, you should think about selling these Mackie Shields. So I went along to a CET event And the inventor of it, do you know, he said that they come from sunflower seeds. I'm like, wow, this is a great story. But he said they don't work as effectively unless you take omega-3. That was the first time I started to hear about omega-3.
Yeah, well, omega-3, actually, you can actually combine the carotenoids, which comes from the marigold plant over in Mexico, is historically where this came from.
You went to that lecture too?
Well, I dabble in these things. We have Mackie Prime. It's truly remarkable product. But they can combine the carotenoids with omegas, and it actually like targets or tricks the body into receiving omegas. It travels to the brain and the eye quicker. So that's why you add in omegas, and that's what like AREDS and all those studies start to identify. But yeah, look, technology is advanced so far in comparison to
when we're on the
shampoo.
shop floor. These are the stories. When I say that this is from the South, is it South American sunflower pod? Yeah. Their eyes just like, they wonder, like, wow. And I think that, is it salesmanship for me, or is it a situation where you're saying, I really understand that product? Really believe in it.
I think it's passion. I think people buy from people. I think you could have the best products in the world, but if you're not passionate about it, I don't think anyone would buy it. And you only really get passion if you actually understand it. So, and if you're passionate about it, would understand it.
And you've seen it work as well. Dry AMD, I remember there was this, he's a rabbi, and there was nothing for dry AMD. Nothing at all. I was like, you got to start taking these Mackie Shield things. I didn't make any claim. I didn't say it could get better. But he was losing one line every year from dry AMD, and he started taking these Mackie Shields, and of course wearing sunglasses, all the rest of it, and it really stopped the progression of his dry AMD. So something was working, and it was the first of its kind. We didn't really have anything like that.
No, look, I work with Professor John Nolan, who is the lead researcher in carotenoid supplements for AMD, basically. And nutritional research center of Ireland. That's where he comes from, and he is an unbelievable human being. And just listening to his work and everything he's done around carotenoids and what that actually means, and now into the brain as well, it is pretty special to share a room with him. And he puts his name to the Mackie Prime brand, but you know, it's targeted carotenoids. Get it into the system, for one, because we can appreciate diet is the number one thing we all can have control over. But the problem is the way or the quality and the quantity of what we are eating, our leafy greens, as we all talk about, is just nowhere near what it should be.
Sam, can I share with you? You're a great leader. I can see the culture that you've created, that the Body Doctor is unbelievable. And I was speaking to this young kid. This is just on Friday. And he keeps phoning in sick. And he hasn't got a mum and dad around. And he only eats McDonald's or KFC. And he's always sick. And I said to him, do you know how many apples? I was born in 1974. You would need to eat at least 12 apples now to have the same vitamins. And he was like, no way. So he Googled it, didn't believe me. And it's a fact that our produce, unless it's purely organic, and I'm sure you can get an apple that's the same, it's really different now.
So I have a similar stat that we like to use. Go on. And it's around spinach. And the story goes that if you ate a bowl of spinach in 1980, I think it was 1980, you would have to eat 56 bowls of spinach today to get the same nutrients as you did with one bowl back then.
Wow.
And that's why we have a problem, and that's why AMD could also be contributing to the increasing numbers. But that just shows the level of rubbish that is going into our foods and everything else just to speed up production. That's all it is. It's speed up production, because we've got this mentality that everything has to be now. And that's great, and we all share it. That's why we all use Amazon and Amazon Prime, and I need it tomorrow, or I need it today. Yeah, some things you get today. That's just absolutely mind-blowing from a logistics perspective. But that's a now new mentality. Could you imagine placing an order online and waiting 5 days? Like, it's just crazy to think
send
that.
letters.
Yeah, exactly. No way. And then, whereas now it's, I need it now. And that's why we speed up production and necessarily we cut the corners to meet the demands. And that those cuts ultimately sacrificing the quality.
If you're watching this and you're not enjoying this, I don't think I can do anything for you. I knew Sam's podcast was going to be exceptional because it's two people that really care. You're an exceptional human being and you really care about the eye sector. That so far, there's so much value and we haven't even really moved into the other products you do because I work with a CLO and the man loves some of your products. Do you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's one in particular that you gave a lecture on. That's your latest. Is that your latest innovation? Do you want to talk us through?
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, so you're talking about the in-practice procedure of Zest.
Do we leave Zest as like the cherry on the cake for people that haven't heard of it? Do we leave that there? Leave it hanging?
Yeah.
Do you want to do it now? It's up to you.
There's a lot of buzz around about it. As we knew 5 years ago when we launched it. It's taken its time, but I think now everyone understands it. Our marketing team have actually cracked it.
I think if you were to say to opticians, this is the lottery numbers, guaranteed, do it. They still wouldn't do it.
No, I get that.
100% optical. There was a guy there called Dr. Noon, and you could take a picture and with a 97% accuracy know if you're going to have a heart attack. Unbelievable. But opticians are a bit skeptical. I'll wait till everyone else does it. So
yeah. We like to wait. We don't want to be the first. We like to see what works, what doesn't work. It has to be practical. You could have the best thing in the world, but if it's not practical or you don't, and that's what we talked about, it's this passion. If you're not that passionate about it, or, I still see optometrists and ophthalmologists today saying, I don't see many dry eye patients. And I think, how is that even possible?
I have to challenge them. So I say, look, dry eye, glaucoma, 100%, right? And they say, yeah. And I say, dry eye, menopause, 100%, right? And then and then I say antidepressants. So I just drop these questions and they're like, I suppose you're right. They're right in front of you. Can I ask you a quick question? When we buy the eye bag, there's those wipes in there.
Yeah.
And sometimes people come back and they've never used the wipes.
Yeah.
Do those wipes?
What do the wipes?
Are they really important for I don't know.
Let me tell you.
Tell me about the wipes, and then we'll move on to some other products if that's okay.
Yeah. Fine. Look, what happens is, and this is what we talk about with our customers, and how we try and how we use the terminology that if we were speaking to a patient, we know what works, what doesn't work. So then we say, look, you got this dry eye disease, and you can go into Meibomian Gland Dysfunction, you can do everything like that. But basically, Meibomian Gland Dysfunction is, and this is how we explain it. We say you've got these glands that produce an oil, and it should be of an olive oil consistency. And what happens is they turn to like butter. So what happens once they turn to more like a butter consistency, everything gets blocked. Yeah, it's caused a problem. What we have to do is unblock those glands. Yeah. So the way we unblock them is we apply heat. Heat to butter melts it. Yeah. We all can understand this analogy. And then by unblocking those glands or reducing it back down to liquid, we simply just massage or express those oils, those unhealthy oils out. And that's where the wipes come in handy. That's to remove those unhealthy oils, any crusting or anything like that, blepharitis on the lash line. We want to effectively remove all that. So then our body's natural response is to produce healthy, higher quality meibum or the oil that is in the meibomian glands. And I always say, come back to, our products are wonderful and they do amazing things. But the biggest healing power is actually our body. And we're just aiding our body. You break your arm, you don't go in and fix it. You just put a cast on it and let it heal itself. We're basically, a lot of our things is providing a cast to allow our body naturally to repair itself. So the hot compress is just getting rid of the unhealthy oils, getting rid of that buttery consistency, and then using the wipe to remove and exfoliate the lash line allows our body to naturally repair itself, produce higher quality oils, higher quality protection for the tear. And that's how we explain it.
And your patient will love you. If you explain this properly, they will love you. Now, sometimes the optometrist hasn't got time, hands it to the receptionist. The receptionist puts through 20 quid.
Yeah.
And we're underserving our patient by not explaining what the wipes do, omega-3, why not, leaving it to be compressed and getting it to the right temperature. Thank goodness you found an innovation. So many people don't have microwaves out of choice. Yeah. So we've got products now that are... by the way, if you think this is like an advert, it's not. Sam and I are here to talk optics, right? So if you happen to use Body Doctor, good luck. You're not paying me any money, right?
No, I'm not paying.
There's no money here. This is for you, so you can know. Like I just happen to have a loyalty with Body Doctor, so I don't want it to come across that way. We recommend everything if it's right.
Yeah, look, we're just one of probably 3 players in the industry in dry eye. So
just the friendliest one.
Well, you said it, Gary. Yeah, I can't say that. You can say that.
I said it. So, what other products do you do?
All right, well, let's talk Zest, because that's what everyone's really talking about.
That's the hot news right now.
Yeah, look, Zest is pretty special. Zest is like a deep cleansing procedure. Actually, thinking back to nice patient analogies, we say Zest is like seeing a hygienist at the dentist. So you go see the dentist, and the dentist says you've got a buildup of plaque and we need to sort it out. And that you have to go see the hygienist for. Well, plaque and biofilm are very similar. And that's how we use the terminology of, well, Zest is now acting as the hygienist. And what it will do is it'll act as this really deep clean, and it resets what our eyes should feel like. Because what happens is we just accept it. Yeah, I've got dry eye, and yeah, it's annoying, and yeah, it's frustrating. And I'm thinking, why are we just accepting this? And yeah, okay, we can put drops in and everything else. And, you know, we sell drops. Don't get me wrong. Some products are unbelievable. But the reason why we apply drops 4, 5, 6 times a day is because we're targeting symptoms, not the root problem. And that's where Zest comes in. Zest, it targets the root problem. And ultimately, everything around dry eye discomfort and dry eye disease management is to do with inflammation, and that's what Zest is. Targets inflammation.
Yeah, so, and don't forget how much of a prescription comes from the tears too. If the tears are gunky and horrible, you're going to see better. And I think we're missing a trick. If someone's about to go to cataract surgery, I'm told on very good authority that if we do this procedure, the cataract surgery will come out better. The ophthalmologist will love you. The patient will get a better outcome. Like, I think it's only right to offer it before the cataracts. I would put my kidney on it that 1% of our industry offer it before cataracts.
Yeah, it's very new technology, but yeah, by optimizing the tear film, we enhance better measurements, which reduces refractive surprise. So your patients are getting better measurements, better, obviously, patient outcomes. We also, everyone can appreciate, if you send a patient in for surgery with mild dry eye disease, they're coming out with moderate. And you send them in with moderate, they're coming out with severe. So it's our job to bring it as low as possible before surgery. And that's what Zest will do. So, yeah, it's pretty special.
I don't believe in reps. Like frame reps, a bad one is a waste of time, bad contact lens rep. You've trained your reps to be trainers. They come in and they're welcome and it's a fun day. I'm very interested in leadership. Mm-hmm. I'm like a box of flipping. I'm interested in lots of things. I really love your company for its culture. Like, you've really got it right with the reps. When they come in, they're there to teach, not to sell. Like, how have you done that? What advice do you give other CEOs that send in reps and they're like, they don't even get offered tea? Your guys get offered the red carpet.
Well, that's a lot of trial and error. There's no quick fix. What we found actually was the vast majority, going way back, were not optics trained. I wasn't from optics, I came into optics, and I've been in it now 13 years.
Your stuff.
Clearly, I know a bit. And what I tend to find is the reps from other companies similar to ours was they're trained a certain way, and that way I didn't feel was right to represent us or our business. And the problem you get when you try and train those individuals, they're less responsive to it. They say, "Oh, I've done it my way and it works fine." I'm thinking, well, yeah, but it's I want you to try it this way, and it was always more difficult. So we recruited outside of Optic originally, not now, but originally. It was a very unique way of doing it. And I said, look, I'm not interested in how many you sell. I'm interested in the experience you give. Yeah, and that was very important to me because people buy from people. And we talked about a lot about passion and energy and enthusiasm and all of that. And that's just our brand, and that's who we are as people, and that's who I am as an individual. I'm a very positive person as well. I don't focus a lot on negatives. I think a lot of other people will focus on the negatives, so I just try to focus on the positives. And it's all around this experience that you give. So if someone enjoys your experience, then it's not a sell. It's, like you said, you're welcomed. And I'm not necessarily interested in, well, I want you to go in, I want you to see X amount of customers or prospects or however you terminology of the industry it is. And I want you to sell X amount of this and Y amount of that. I don't do that. I go in and say, would that customer invite you back? And that's my measurement. Because if they're not going to invite you back, then the door's closed. If the door's closed, then it's irrelevant how many you sold because it's a one-time sell. And I'm not interested in one-time sales. I have customers from 13 years ago who still buy. There you go, Gary. Yeah, who still buy our products. And I believe it's down to the experience they have with us.
And whether that's a trade show, whether that's an experience of a lecture, like it's always quite consistent. So I take my hat off to you. I can see good culture when I see it. And I think that the Body Doctor, and it starts from the top downwards, and your positive attitude. Do you have, for whoever's listening to this, do you have any gurus that you love, any podcasts that you love listening to, any books? You're a Tony Robbins guy. Who is it that you watch and listen to?
Gary, I'll be honest with you. I've got 2 young kids and trying to... Body Doctor's on significant growth, and I've got a significant growth of my family going on. I have no time for podcasts or nothing. I leave...
Even when you're in the car, you don't listen to like a little cheeky one?
Do you know what it is? I absolutely love silence, and it's a weird thing. But when I'm in my head, it's either that or very loud music. It depends what mood I'm in. But I can just see it's like a decompress from the journey. It's only 15 minutes for me from my house to my home, and it just decompresses. And I try and get out of work mode. And I try and get out and clear my head because, I got a 4-year-old and an 18-month-old. They don't care what's happening at my place. They just want to see Dad. And that makes that. And I try and bring that. So
that just tells me what a high degree of focus you have. If our heads are too noisy, it's really hard to be grounded, to have clear thought. For me, it's running, cycling. That's where I have silence, and I just go into that place. In the shower, I find some of the best thoughts in the shower. That just tells me a lot about you, really. You're not just buzzing around. The most successful people have a calmness about them. I'm still trying to reach there, but you certainly have that.
I wouldn't go as far as calmness, but I'm certainly trying. I feel as though there's a lot of pressures in the world, and that's something if you can't control. You can't control everything, but what you can control is your own emotions and how you attribute yourself, basically. So I feel as though if you can control that, then you're doing all right.
You are really good at marketing too. Your social media is good. The branding's good. It's nice and clean. What's the future hold, and how was your 100%? You had some things there that were a little bit different, some machines, some different stuff. Do you want to quickly go through that? This is most of the podcasts are 20 minutes long.
Okay, what are we on?
I don't know. I've just enjoyed your company here, and I hope there's been lots. Anyone watching this, optician-wise, you've learned a lot, and make a comment down below. If you disagree with anything we say, if you agree, please make a comment. Yeah, so 100%, what do you have on that stand? It was really buzzy, by the way. Every time I passed, there was about 100 people in there.
Yeah, we had a few comments about you, the busiest stand, and I think it's because we give away so much as well. But look, we had to bring a big team this year. Every year the team gets bigger, the stand gets bigger, and you think, okay, because I literally at one stage I think we all had, I had 16 people on our stand this year, and I remember looking around, and it's a sign of true gratitude, I suppose, of realizing how far we've come. It's a surreal feeling. I remember doing 100%. I did 100% optical 11 years ago when it first started, and it was me, Adam, who's my brother, and my mum, and we took it in turns as who would go and speak first. Usually it was me with my sales title, and we used to go in there on the Friday on the day of setup with a little 3x2 stand. And this is what people forget, it was only, we've done this for 12, 13 years, but I've done it all, and we've done it all. I've done the sales repping, I've done the marketing, I've done every single role within this organization. So I know what works, what doesn't work, and I can tailor my approach to the team, because I can say, oh, look, you got to do these follow-ups, and I know it's going to be busy and it's going to be hard and everything else, but I've done it and I know, which makes a big difference. But yeah, we did 3x2 stands. We'd go and have our pull-up displays and build it all. This year we had a near on 60-meter stand with 16 people working it, and we turned around and everyone was busy. Everyone was talking to customers, and that was a real sense of accomplishment and achievement. Really proud.
Sometimes you can tell a rep that is just there for the money. Your guys are motivated, and I just acknowledge you for that. That's because of you.
Yeah.
So what else did you have on that stand? I heard there was some machines, dry eye machines. There was all kinds of jazz on there. I didn't have time to stop by.
Look, dry eye has evolved, as we can all appreciate, and we have to evolve as well, and we have to get better. And as our understanding of the management tools available deepen, we like to take those learnings and find the latest equipment. So Body Doctor historically, it started as a mask, then it moved into drops, and now it's into in-practice management. The next logical step was technology or equipment. So we've just launched something called Zognique. I didn't come up with a name. But yeah, Zognique is it's polarized light. So like photobiomodulation, basically.
Do you know what frequency it's at?
The team certainly do. Okay. It's very new technology.
We'll put it in the show notes.
Yeah. One to learn. But
because red light is the buzzy thing right now. Everyone's talking about red light, 700 micrometers. Mitochondria getting excited. There's all this talk, and again, this is new. We don't You see it at beauticians, and what's that red light thing about? But it really does work.
You think it at home. You buy it at home now. You go Boots, the chemist or whatever, and you can get these face masks for 100, 200 quid, and it uses LEDs and it has its purpose. But people are buying into this red light therapy. And red light was amazing, and it used to be, and it still is in some cases, but it used to be you have to use this red light, then you have to change for this yellow light, and then change for this blue light. And then what we've done is Zognique has combined it. So I believe, I might be wrong, but I believe it's the only one that is multi-wavelength. So instead of offering one, and one, ours combines every single piece of light. So it's preconditioned to deliver X% of red, X% of yellow. Oh, it's very expensive.
Go on.
Very expensive, but usually you get what you pay for.
Go on. So what are we talking? 40K, 30K?
Yeah, 40K.
40K.
45. I think it's
at the end of the day, it's the 9th of March today, and there is a war, and there's going to be consumer confidence is something that still affects opticians. And if every optician does an eye test, every optician does contact lenses, every optician does specs, if you are going to survive, and I'll put my reputation on this, you're going to need to be a little bit different. And if all you're doing is selling drops, and you celebrate, I just sold $8.99 drops, it's not a long-term solution. So invest the money, do it, go for it. would be my suggestion. As long as it doesn't look like a fridge. If it's huge.
It doesn't look like a fridge. It is quite big.
Huge. That's a problem sometimes with little opticians.
Size matters, Gary. So,
Well, be creative. Like, hang it on the wall. I don't know. Figure it out. Look, bury it into the ground.
This thing is special piece of kit. It's, I believe, and I've seen this before, and I genuinely believe it's going to revolutionize dry eye management.
Why not?
I think we're early. Don't get me wrong. It's not going to be for everyone, and I get that. But if you think 5 years ago we launched Zest, it wasn't for everyone back then. It certainly is now. And I think this is the next big thing.
People are still scared of Zest, but please don't tell anyone off. At the Hakeem retreat, I was there, and there was only time to do one eye. And I tell you what,
it's me.
Tell you what, the one that I didn't do is still angry with me.
I know. You should have come by at the stand, but no, look, the one eye thing.
It was good, and it made me see. Like, I thought, wow,
it's a marketing ploy, guy.
Maybe you're right.
It is definitely a marketing ploy. Look, because if we did both eyes, they're going to feel amazing. But then you're going to be, in a few weeks.
There was intention to do both, but I got dragged away, and then it was over.
We changed it. Yeah, we changed it. It's now one eye only.
Oh, really? So it worked.
Yeah.
It worked on me.
It's quite a powerful tool. That. Right. So then, when one eye feels amazing, it realigns your senses in terms of, actually, I can tell the difference, and I can, when I wake up, this eye feels great, this eye doesn't, and that's a big thing. Even if you're using the drops and everything else. So, that's the bit of a marketing plan.
I'd love to ask you back for another now, because I didn't press go at the beginning. It's going on, but you've added so much value. You've been so authentic you've not held back. It really shows how much you care and what a brilliant business you've built. Just be careful with head count. It can be really easy. Like, you have a record week. You take on a member of staff, and before you know it, you're not making any profit. So you're a good man. Be careful with head count. Like, it can be easy to add and bloody hell. Amex did some research. It said if you're overstaffed, you become 20% less productive. You're just better off just being just enough, right?
Wow.
I've seen it throughout my career. You go into a practice that's got too many staff, everyone's in second gear.
Yeah. No, look, I get that. We're going through some serious growth at the minute, which is very positive. It's very exciting. We do need resource. Our recruitment process is pretty stringent. And this is a good point, actually. This comes back to a bit of our ethos. Someone asked me, someone came to me with an unbelievable CV. On paper, amazing. Like, you absolutely hit the nail on the head. Here we go. When can you start? And then I met them, and their attitude, I couldn't deal with it. And I have a very simple rule. And I'm letting the cat out the bag for anyone who does.
If you're watching and going to apply for a job, listen in.
I have a very simple rule, and that rule is, if I wouldn't go for a beer with you, then I wouldn't want to work with you. Ooh. And it's as simple as that. And that, I get that vibe very quickly. And we can talk CV, and we can talk everything that everyone's going to do. But if I'm not going to enjoy going for a beer, then how can I expect to sit across you, work with you? It doesn't work for me. So that person I let go. I
go to school because of that. You might not know. I'm a bit of a champion of the young. We've taken on over 2,000 work experience students through my whole career. And I go to schools. I talk to kids about interview technique. Can I share with you this? I wasn't planning on ever telling our industry this, right? So I needed an optometrist, and I spoke to this young girl, and she sounded so perfect. Her CV was brilliant. And she came into the interview, and she looked immaculate. And she had a little bogey. And every time she spoke, it vibrated. And I just couldn't do it. I couldn't hire her. Go in the mirror and just check yourselves, people.
I haven't had
Let me ask you, Sam, if you were interviewing someone that had a little bogey, it kept vibrating, it put you off, what would you do?
I think I'd have to provide like a tissue or something. Try and do it more subtly.
I don't think she realised. But I often think about you. If you're watching, then you know who you are. I often think about you if I should have seen past that.
We should do this again and interview horror stories, because I've got a couple. I had someone come back interview in our boardroom, and he sat on the chair, he leaned so far back, he basically fell off the chair.
Did you hire him?
No. I thought if anyone's that relaxed in an interview, it was the wrong culture. It's not a good fit, so it wasn't ideal. And they ran out pretty quick of embarrassment. It wasn't great.
Interviews are really, you need a lot of skill to bring out the best in them and then get them to relax. It's a great thing. And I don't know, like, you can't always get it right. When I think back of some of the interviews I've had and the ones that we've got right, the ones you haven't, and there's a management saying, it says hire slowly, fire fast. So that helps anyway.
Yeah, I think for my one piece of advice, I like the beer advice. I think that it was actually a customer who gave me that, and I thought that stuck with me a long time. I was like nearly 10 years ago, and I use that still to this day. But I think it's definitely, I would always take effort or personality over ability or skill, because I think certainly here we have the time to bring on individuals and train and work with them to make them the best or a better version of themselves, is what we try to do, in terms of ability. Whereas you can't train personality, and that's where the going for a drink analogy comes from.
Would you help me out? I'd love to wrap up the show with how I see dry eye, and I might need you to plug it in, right? So if you are poor at the minute, you just off baby lotion and bicarbonate soda, and if you're lucky, the odd drop. The next level up is you have a heat compress something or other, right? We're not saying choose whichever one you want. It could be Body Doctor, whoever you like. From there, I like the eye ones. I think that they're very, very clever. Do you even stock them? I don't even know if you stock them.
No,
right, so
we don't stock them.
All right, so there you go.
Yeah.
I think you should add it to your portfolio, because what happens is you've got this little eye wand. It warms up to a certain temperature and it vibrates. You lubricate it. From there, the next level is supplements. I think we should be offering our patients some supplements as well as. Then it's Zest. Have I missed anything?
No, you're doing pretty well.
And then from Zest, you buy the 40 grand.
Yeah, then you kick it really off
thing.
Yeah.
And then from there, if that's still not working, you might need some specialist referral, dry eye machine, go to Luminous and buy £100,000 machine.
Yeah.
And those are the scales of where you should be. Have I missed anything?
No, I think that's good. I think we have a simple saying, and it's like heat, cleanse, revive, repair. Heat, cleanse, revive, repair. Heat, cleanse, revive, repair. Those are the four, and then you've also got supplements added in there as well. But you do heat the eyelids, unblock the glands. Yeah, we're taking from butter back down to olive oil. Clean them.
I love that. There's so many great quotes you've done today, and with the drops, the red one, the green one. That please know the viscosity of these things. Don't just say, oh, that one's thicker, I think it's a bit better. Like, get to know why the red one and the green one and that's how most practices are. Do the red one. Everyone likes that one. Bloody hell.
Well, we've just launched we've had something called a triple action, so it's technically yellow or gold. But that one's designed to target all three layers of the tear film. And that, I've had people tell me, I use HA. We have HA drops and they're wonderful. And then it comes down to which one's the stickiest, basically. And then, but time, even HA, things have progressed. So now we target, let's look at how the tear film is made up. And, if we can replicate that with an eye drop, surely that's better than not replicating it. And that's where our triple action comes in.
Are you global? Do we have the eye doctor in?
Oh, yeah. We've got 26 countries now. Yeah, it's quite big.
You might get a knighthood or something for it.
One day we'll see.
I'll say, I know that guy.
Yeah.
I know that guy. I was at the beginning. I wish you all the best success. If you were to leave the show just with a couple of tips to practitioners that maybe just barely have drops, what would be your 3 tips, if that's okay?
Mine would be get passionate about dry eye. Dry eye disease is here. It's estimated 1 in 3 people that walk through a clinician's door or an optician's door has dry eye disease and needs some sort of management. Now, that could just be, hydrate more. It doesn't have to always be cost. It can just be drink more water and stop staring at your screens as much. Or it could be, you need to have a Zest at however much. There's varying scales. But 1 in 3 patients walking through will need some sort of management or will have dry eye disease. Now, that has 2 main benefits to a practice. One being, obviously, we're managing a patient's comfort levels, which is an amazing thing to do and see live, especially when you can do in-practice procedures. That makes a massive difference. But also commercially, these patients are buying eye drops. They're just not buying them from you. And that's a big thing, and then we also talk about, well, where are they buying them from? And I get it. Look, you got Amazon. We talked about Amazon earlier and how quick and easy it is, but there's nothing quicker and nothing easier than buying it from that location that you're currently sat in or studying. So I think get involved, because if you don't, others will, I think is where this market is going. There is about to be an absolute dry eye boom.
I think you're right. Like, in front of the screen, people aren't blinking. Yeah. There's a million reasons why. And the thing that makes me laugh is if no one's ever done dry eye and then they buy an IPL machine. You've literally bought a Ferrari to go to the supermarket. Get good at dry eye on the grassroots would be my suggestion.
Start small.
Sorry?
Yeah. Start small. I agree. No, look, you can have, there's varying complexities all the way through it. And if we can't nail the basics, then how the hell do we progress into nailing the more advanced techniques? Let's nail the 3-4 step regime, the process. Let's get confident talking about it. I say this a lot to practitioners and say, well, how do you refer to dry eye? Do you just say, have you got a bit of that dry eye? Or do you say, have you got dry eye disease? And they'll always say 9 times out of 10, maybe 9.9 times out of 10, they will say, oh, I just say dry eye. I said, well, why not? And they say, well, disease sounds scary. And I said, well, it is scary because it's a progressive disease. If you don't manage it, it will get worse. That's not me telling you. That's how it's characterized by TFOS and in the Jews 3 study. So to get confident and comfortable telling them, and also get confident and comfortable charging for your expertise. You've all trained a long, long time to be in that position. You shouldn't then devalue yourselves in making that recommendation just because, I've had practitioners and clinicians say, oh, I'm really sorry, it's costing X. And I'm thinking, imagine if you was in the dentist, and we use the dentistry model a lot. When was the last time your dentist or your hygienist apologized for a deep cleanse? They don't. And that's because they're comfortable and confident in their skill and ability.
We've got the best industry in the world. We help people see clearly, like the sense that nobody wants to lose. It's a mixture of fashion and it's just such a lovely profession. Why it goes so slowly, I have no idea. But there are things that we've talked about today that can, without very much investment, you could do tomorrow. Please give the Body Doctor or any of your suppliers, like we're not loyal to one. It's just they happen to be really friendly and lovely. And my personal preference, give them a call, get it started. Sam, I want to acknowledge you as a great entrepreneur. You're one of the best entrepreneur businesses in our industry, and there's nothing wrong with that. That you see you see the problem and you find the solution, and that's what a good business is. I wish you years of good luck and getting together. And if you've been watching this and you really like what you've seen here, please contact Sam and his team because they're all brilliant. Invite them in. It's not a difficult process to get a rep to come to see you. I wouldn't have thought.
No, it's pretty easy. Follow us on LinkedIn. There's a big push on LinkedIn.
There you go. Follow us on LinkedIn. All the show notes would be down below. Sam, you've done this impulsively. I said to you on LinkedIn, do you fancy doing a show? And you just came on, and I really appreciate you for that. I've learned so much. This has been brilliant.
No, I appreciate the time. Thank you for inviting me, Gary.
You're welcome. I'm about to stop it. They call that a pod. We're done. Ta-da!